What up, y'all? It's the Prodigy Man. We back with another video. So here's what we about to do. We have the WWE Backlash pay-per-view this year. And I'm gonna be honest, I only wrote on the note the matches, and at the bottom as a side note, nothing intriguing about this pay-per-view at all. I mean, there's nothing. They did absolutely nothing to get me excited. And before I even go over the matches and get my thoughts on it, I put in. I watched only two. I only watched two pro wrestling channels, and on one of them, I commented my thoughts on it. I said, all of this is. I said, all of the pay per view is rematches. And then I called it WrestleMania Wacktrash because that's what it is. That's what it is. There's nothing exciting about this pay per view. And before and to get to the point, I basically commented on one of them, and I commented that, and now I actually got the most replies in the person made the video, right? I got more replies than the person who made the video. Like he always posts his little side note of what he says in the comment section. I got more replies than that. But anyway, let's go. So first, I said all rematches except the main event, WrestleMania Wacktrash. Someone says, how does that make it trash? Rematches are necessary to have longer storyline. You complained when Rock and Steve Austin wrestled like 150,000 times. Do you really expect wrestling to abandon a certain story with just one match? To answer that, no. I don't think you should abandon a match and have a one-off match every single time. But what I'm saying is, you're really not gonna compare Cody and Seth, AJ and Edge. You want to compare them having a rematch to Rock versus Austin. That's literally what I said. I said, but I'm saying most of these matches are copy and pasted from WrestleMania. That's probably why they call it Wrestlemania Backlash now. And you really want to compare Rock and Austin rematches to the ones on Backlash this year? That's crazy. But it's just from my perspective. I don't say opinion. I say perspective because I'm saying how I see it is better than how you see it. I'm not giving my opinion. But the reason why people don't think it's all that bad is because they're used to the company producing such bad product that now we're worshiping something that's so little and making it seem like it's the most exciting thing they've ever done. I'm like, I gotta say, don't lower your standards like that, dude. If they can be better, like let them know they can be better. Like don't just celebrate the bare minimum that they put in. But anyway, that's how I responded to that. And then someone said it's literally WrestleMania Backlash. Of course, it's gonna be a bunch of rematches. Since when does the word backlash mean rematch? Like, if you look up what backlash means, it doesn't even mean rematch. It has nothing to do with like repeat, do over again, to happen a second time. Like it doesn't have anything to do with it. So I'm like, backlash doesn't even mean rematch. So that's why I'm confused. Like backlash doesn't even have anything to do with doing something again. So anyway, I said, okay, so tell me what have they done to get you excited of any of the rematches on Backlash this year? Not one segment prior to the pay-per-view was really all that outstanding. And I put emphasis on outstanding because what stuck out to you and went, oh, I gotta see them have a match now. I gotta see them have another match now. I'm like, really? Out of all the Monday Night Raws and SmackDowns, you're telling me there was what you saw? Okay, there was some cool segments, all right, but you telling me what you saw was outstanding? Lower our standards, and it's just that's why the wrestling world is so bad because people lower their standards and celebrate little things. And then someone said, I'm not comparing, as when I was talking about Rock and Austin, like I was saying, like that's crazy that you would think them having a rematch is at the same caliber of what's on the card this year. First of all, Rock and Austin, different levels of stars, were able to captivate every single time. They were that entertaining. This is not the same case. But either way, no discredit to any other talent, but I'm saying you're not captivating on their level. That's all I'm saying. And then he said, I'm not comparing, just saying that just like Rock and versus Stone, I mean, just versus Steve Austin required a bunch of rematches to move the story forward. Every rivalry needs that. And from my perspective, a pay per view is a, I guess he meant to say isn't a trash when most of the matches on the card turn out to be disasters. Oh, he's saying a pay per view is trash when most of it, the card is turns out to be a disaster. I am not seeing that Backlash becoming one of them. First of all, I never said it was going to be a disaster. I just said there was nothing on there that excited me to see any of these matches. Two, I'm calling it before the pay per view happens. He said he only calls it a trash pay per view if it turns into a disaster. I'm saying what I feel before the match even happens. So you're saying as if the match they already happened and it was terrible. That's two different things. But yeah, let me see, because there was more responses. Okay, so when I responded to that was when I said, I mean that's cool that you're or wait, let me see. Okay, then someone said Cody plus, because this is what I asked the question earlier. I said, "What excites you?" And then someone said, "Cody plus Seth segments have me more interested." The only good segment they had was when he talked about his dad. Was when they talked about Cody's dad, which is a legend in the business. That was about it. That was like, okay, that was a cool shot. But it was nothing like I was like, oh, I gotta see them have a match now. Because he said something about, he said his dad wasn't good enough to win the title. Really? That made you want to see their match because of that? Really, bro? I'm just saying, like, up your standards. Anyway, the I Quit match of Charlotte and Ronda have added a new twist. There wasn't even a twist at the beginning. They had a terrible match at Mania. So why is it now that they added the phrase "I quit"? Oh, now it's gonna be good. That's what you're telling me. It's gonna be good now because they added "I quit." They can't even do a brawl correctly. They even botched, even when they did like the contract signings and then like the way they beat each other up prior to the pay per view. They couldn't even do a brawl correctly. There was botches in the brawl. Anyway, the whole faction with Edge makes it even more interesting. Edge has a faction with Damian Priest. Priest literally got rolled up by AJ Styles and lost. And then he disappeared in one of their matches. They had two matches. And the first one, he like just disappeared and the match ended. It didn't even like end by count out, nothing. It just ended. He just went dark, he left, and it ended. No bell, nothing. It just ended. But I'm not supposed to remember that because I'm supposed to be like a simpleton who doesn't think stuff through. Anyway, even if the build-ups have been bad or lackluster, I'm not complaining that it's a bunch of rematches because that's the whole point of the pay-per-view. When does the word backlash mean rematch? That's not... I don't think any of these people have looked up the word backlash. It doesn't necessarily mean rematches. Because if that was the case, the whole card would be a rematch if it was just about rematches. Same reason why Payback, if anything, Payback is all about rematches. Because you're getting payback. So Payback, it really makes more sense because they have a pay-per-view called that they do a few times. That would make more sense to be filled with rematches because it's called Payback, which does mean, get revenge. So whoever lost, they want to fight you again. Whatever. Like, Payback is what you say Backlash is. Don't even think they realize that. But not arguing, just making a point. Oh, then I guess it was not... This is the next person. Then I guess it was not for you because I enjoyed the build-up of Cody versus Rollins, AJ versus Seth, a six-man tag match, and the six-man tag match. Rollins promo last Monday, Finn Balor getting involved in the absolute star power of the six-man tag match made me hype for this pay-per-view. But what was the build-up that really intrigued you? They had two brawls, I think three. Three. They had three brawls, and it was the last three nights that they were even able to do them. That's how I know it was last minute. It was supposed to be Usos versus RK Bro tag team unification match, but that got booted out of nowhere, and they decided to add Drew and Roman to the match. So now it's Bloodline versus Drew and RK Bro. Why? This literally doesn't help anybody. Whoever gets pinned, they automatically lose steam. One of the Usos get pinned. Well, that's just gonna make them seem weak. And why it's like at that point it's like, why are you attaching your name? I get it, it's Bloodline, but why are you attaching your name next to someone who's been undefeated for 600 days? It's like at that point, why are you attaching somebody who's you want to be surrounded by people who are winning, like not just keeping the titles, winning. And they've been losing weeks prior, building up to the original thing, unification match. That was one thing that actually interests me. I'm like, okay, well, let's see how the tag division goes. Since they don't have a lot of them, let's see how it goes when they unify. Well, that got thrown out the window. Even then, that was a rematch. But that got thrown out the window. So I'm like, well, you just took any interest that was left in this pay-per-view. Everyone who says they're excited for a certain match is because they say it was a good match at Mania. Are you seriously sold off of... You're sold on a pay-per-view just because it was a good match the first time. It was a good match the first time. In that case, I will be intrigued in every pay-per-view they have if I was just going to be sold on it was a good match the first time. Anyway, I mean, that's cool that you're excited. I'm just saying their segments was cool, as in there were a few cool segments, but nothing that was impressive, as in nothing that stuck out. And Balor has been on a losing streak. So he actually won the United States Championship. So right, Balor won the United States Championship. He only won like one match when he had it. All the rest of them he lost and somehow still had the belt. Then he finally lost it. So it's just like, my gosh, bro, Balor's been on a losing streak. You think him doing a little, too sweet with AJ Styles? Okay, so now I'm supposed to think they like Balor now, or they have something for him? Seriously? You're too sold on this stuff. If you just look at their little reunion and go, I'm excited now. That really boosted the story. Demon Balor would have boosted the story. I'm like, okay, now you're bringing in the firepower, because Balor on the main roster is terrible. No character at all. Just smiles, does his little dance for the entrance, and that's it. Goes in the ring, takes the pin, and loses. That's what he is. He's nothing there, except without the demon character, he's nothing. He means nothing to Vince when he's not the demon character. That's probably why he should pull it out more often, but he wants it to seem more special, which, like I said, I get. But if you're not even being booked correctly before the demon, might as well overuse him. Might as well overuse the demon character. But yeah, I said Balor's been on a losing streak, so putting AJ with another person, because last year he was with Omos, which has no character, 7 feet tall, cool, but has no character. He's being paired up with MVP. I don't know what they're going to do with that, but okay. He just got paired with Omos last year. It was stuck to him because Omos had no character, so he was just stuck to him holding his hand. And now next year, we're going to be excited because now he's with Balor. Okay, great. You got a much better wrestler, but seriously, that's exciting you? Just seeing them pair together. You want to see AJ with another person. I don't need to see him in a tag team, man. It's just too many good single stars to take two and put them in a tag team. They just book them right by themselves, and you wouldn't have to do that. But then I said, I'm saying like him getting paired with AJ is supposed to make me care about Balor, and then I said Demon Balor would be exciting. Then I said, as for the 6-man tag, what's the point of it? Like I said, no one benefits. Whoever loses all loses something. It's not even like they're protected. They all lose something, a part of themselves, a part of their steam, if they had any. At least the unification match of the tag division was something interesting. I personally wish RK Bro would be broken up, because Randy is much better off as a heel, and Riddle never knows what he's talking on the microphone. Every time Riddle gets a microphone, he says nothing. He just talks, tries to make people laugh. You can tell it's an attempt at humor, but just tries to make people laugh by just basically not knowing what the heck he's talking about. And then he's like acting like as if Randy's his dad, and it's like, okay, Randy Orton says he's having fun with all this. That's cool, but we're just saying in wrestling terms, That's not the most captivating thing when we hear about Randy Orton. That's not, like, even then when they had the 20th anniversary segment, are you celebrating Orton while he's being a face? Orton literally is famous for like kicking legends and not caring and being sadistic. Why are you celebrating 20 years of wrestling as a face when over half of your career is going to be remembered for being a bad guy? Then I said they had a terrible match at Mania, which they did. I'm talking about Ronda. This last comment is talking about Ronda versus Charlotte. I said they had a terrible match at Mania. Their promos are still boring, which they are. They just don't click in the ring, which they don't. They did in like maybe 2018 when they had their match at Survivor Series and their thing with Becky Lynch triple threat match at Mania. Yeah, maybe they had more chemistry then, but definitely don't have it now. And I said, so adding I quit as in adding that stipulation doesn't make me any more intrigued. Like, they had a terrible match at Mania. Am I supposed to be intrigued now that they added I quit? If anything, now the match is going to be more of a disaster because now they can do more. Switching over to now just going over the individual matches, which the first one is what I was just talking about. SmackDown Women's Championship match, Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey, and I quit. And it's for the SmackDown Women's Championship. First of all, this is actually the only match that had a title on the line. That's why I don't know why they. The story was heavily based on the tag team unification. They should have kept that. I would have been intrigued at that at least. But now the only is the women's match, SmackDown Championship match, is the only match with a title on the line now. Because they want to, for some reason, they want to add a 6-man. So now it's the only title. And it's not even like a good match you're looking forward to. That's the one title match. That's why I'm more upset that they eliminated the tag team unification. But anyway, that's how that happened. That's just not a match I'm excited about. Ronda should win it because I'm just tired of seeing Charlotte cut the same promos and cut Ronda off. Ronda can't even cut a promo because she keeps cutting her off because she just doesn't like when someone else can look like a star, or she doesn't like when someone has that opportunity. So when they go out there, she just interrupts her. She can't even read her. Not only is she bad on promos, this Ronda, but she can't even read her scripted ones because she keep getting interrupted. Don't even want to see her out of belt no more. Just give it to Ronda. Hopefully she can work on it, become more of herself on the mic, and go from there. Because if you've heard one Charlotte promo, you've heard them all. Same, I'm the queen, I deserve to be treated like this. Same thing. Not roasting the person. The person is probably nicest in the world. But when you get on that television screen and you're talking about wrestling, yeah, no one likes you. And the fact that people like Bubba Ray and Mark Henry say that she should dominate the men's division because she's that good, so she should get Roman Reigns like treatment. Are you serious? Has everyone gone mental, man? Like, what do you? Well, okay. So she's the daughter of Ric Flair, which is a legend. So you're telling me she's not even? She can't even get a genuine crowd reaction. She can't even click with the crowd. Ric Flair clicked with the crowd every night. You really want to compare her to Ric Flair just because they're related, not on the same level? And they're saying that she should surpass Ric Flair.